Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, everyone? What's up, Sacramento? We're live right now, baby. We're live on my Facebook page. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. I got my good friend Danny here, the CEO of Caffeine&Kilos, a Sacramento-based business that believes in a lifestyle of fitness and coffee. Really good coffee, man. I'm grateful to be up. It's Friday. I'm fired up. I'm grateful to talk about business and entrepreneurship. And, one of the best parts about having a podcast and one of the best parts about going live, man, is we could talk about relationships and talk about people that have been influenced in my life, people that are good friends of mine. I've known Danny for a little bit. He's been a great entrepreneur and someone that owns multiple businesses. And I'm excited to have him on the show. Danny, what's going on, brother? Episode 17.
Awesome, man. How you doing today?
It's a beautiful day, brother. I'm grateful.
Always,
it's Friday. I'm fired up, man. What are you up to right now?
Man, I'm sitting on the porch.
Love it, dude. Love it. What'd you do this morning?
Let's see here. We got a puppy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got up this morning and spent a little bit of time kind of training her a little bit, and then went to the gym, dropped the kids off of school, went to the gym, worked out, and then been kind of working a little bit this morning until now.
Brother, that's goals right there, man. For anybody watching, Danny got his puppy, he got his kids, he got his workout, and it's barely 12:05. That's entrepreneurship right there, man. That's I love it, Danny. I love it, Danny. For the audience, brother, what is Caffeine&Kilos? It's Sacramento based. Tell me about the product. Tell me about the lifestyle. Tell me about the shirt you're wearing. What is Caffeine&Kilos like, brother?
Yeah, man. So Caffeine&Kilos is a lifestyle brand in the fitness space. There's this relationship between coffee and working out that's kind of always been there for a long 100%. Time, and that's it's funny. Sometimes people ask like, okay, so you guys sell apparel and you sell coffee, like what's kind of the relationship there? It's like, well, really, it's all founded in fitness, right? And so we just really believe in promoting that active, healthy lifestyle and getting people to work out, and feel good. And so a lot of stuff that's made for the gym doesn't make sense anywhere else, right? And so that's one thing we focus on with our apparel is make sure that something that you could wear to the gym, but you could also wear anywhere else and you'd be comfortable, right? A lot of stuff. If you have, if you're wearing some dry fit shirt or something like that, you're not going to go to your niece's birthday party or your kid's soccer game in that same thing, right? It might be kind of weird. So anyway, that's what we've been doing all along, is making apparel that looks good in the gym. It also looks good if you're just going out to lunch or your kid's soccer game, whatever. So that's what that's all about. And the coffee is. Yeah, and the coffee's all, it's all organic, sustainably farmed, socially responsible, all that. And most of our blends have a little bit higher caffeine content.
Yeah,
but there's nothing added. Yeah, there's nothing added. It's just coffee, but different types of coffee have different caffeine levels. And so we just kind of, when we blend the beans together, we choose some that have those higher levels of caffeine in order to get that. So it's kind of like a healthy pre-workout alternative.
I love it. Danny, you guys have a lot of products. Obviously you have your athleisure wear. I own a lot of your clothes and your sweaters and your shirts, and I love the brand. It's been one of my favorite, athleisure brands, in fitness. Danny, when you first started Caffeine&Kilos, what was the process like, and where did you get that, this kind of vision of how do you name Caffeine&Kilos? What was that process like for you as you were building, your brand?
It was an accident. So we started off, we were just going to hold an event, and we wanted to hold the Caffeine&Kilos Invitational. And the goal was to get the best weightlifters in the country, and even some from out of the country, to come and lift weights and put on a show. And then to bring that together, we held a CrossFit style competition during the day to get the community involved and kind of just get everyone together. And so that was the goal. That was the vision. At the time, it wasn't supposed to be this brand or this ongoing business. It was just going to be this one event. And then it just really resonated with people, right? We decided we're going to name it Caffeine&Kilos and make some apparel for the event and everything. And we kind of sent some out and just kind of posted some pictures of some of it. And people just really grabbed onto it. Said, yeah, man, like that. Like, I get it. Like that. I like working out. I like lifting weights. I usually drink coffee before I go to the gym. This really kind of just resonated with people. And so that's when we said, okay, well, this seems like this is something that maybe is more than just this one event, So we just spun up a store and started put the stuff up, and then it just took off right out the gates. So for sure.
That's incredible, brother. So right now you and Dean are in partnership with Caffeine&Kilos, correct?
Correct.
Awesome.
Yep.
I've looked at a little bit of your content, Dean's, and obviously yourself. Would you say that Dean is a little bit more of the creative person and then you're 100%. More of the executioner?
Yeah, so executioner. Yeah. So Dean is for sure the more creative. He is
Yeah,
the especially like visually creative, So
for sure.
he's in charge of all our design and creative
Love it.
direction and like
Yeah,
brand image, that's something
totally.
that he is uniquely good at and is just absolutely crushes. And then my role is much more of the relationships, and then just kind of keeping the train on the tracks, right? Like making sure that everybody's in line. We all know what's going on. We all know what the goal is, for the week and beyond that, and just kind of keeping everybody keeping it on track, keeping it going.
Totally, brother. That's awesome. You built an incredible brand, Danny. You and Dean and anybody else that's ever been a part of Caffeine Kilos. How do you separate, when you're in a partnership, Danny, for anyone that's watching in the audience that's thinking about going into a partnership or thinking about doing entrepreneurship as an endeavor, brother, how do you facilitate the partnership between, yourself and then the vision and the whole creative process? What is that like, the relationship like in a business partnership? What is that process like for you?
Well, I mean, we have a real good relationship. We talk about the things we want to do, and we're on the same page as far as the goal, right? Like goal one is promoting that healthy, active lifestyle, right? And so everything we do needs to work around that. It needs to,
Of course,
encourage people to work out and encourage people to be healthy and that type of stuff. And again, it's kind of in the gym and out of the gym too, right? Like just something that people can be about, so. We know that, so we sit down and we talk about, all right, well, we have this, upcoming month. What are we doing this month? Do we want to, are we going to do a new collection, apparel collection release? We have a coffee of the month. Like, where does that fall into things? Just kind of what we have coming up that week. And then we kind of build out the schedule. And then from there, it's like, all right, we know kind of what needs to be done. And so then Dean takes his role and just runs with it and gets together all the creative stuff and again all the imagery and all that, and then we just kind of look ahead to what we want to do after that. So really we just kind of, and we meet up with the whole team. We're big on ideas. Like we'll get everyone together and say, okay, here's something we want to do. What are 10 ways that we can or 10 ideas or 10 things that we can do for this specific goal or this specific promotion or whatever. And so then everyone kind of pitches in and gives their ideas. We come up with a plan really all together.
Of course, brother. That's awesome. Danny, you got a team of people around you, brother, that's helping you grow your brand and grow your vision. You're also involved in other businesses, man. How do you pick and choose how you want to put your time in? How do you pick and choose what you want to put your time in, what business you want to focus on? Is that hard for you? You have a family, you have children, you have your own mental fitness or your own mental health, your own fitness. What is that like for you, brother, as the day progresses, as your business experience progresses, as maybe you have other interests? What is that process like for you in navigating all those different relationships, all those different businesses that you have, and just your own mental health and your own fitness lifestyle?
Well, a big part of that is other people, right? Getting other people involved, do you know and trust and that, take care of a lot of the stuff. So, like in the gym, for example, I mean, the gym's been in business since 2008. And there's just such a good team there. Like all our coaching staff is completely squared away. We have actually our like main admin is she's like one of our best friends.
That's awesome,
I met her through the gym too,
That's so cool.
Anyway, so she loves it, loves the gym, loves the company, and so really it's trusting other people, like make sure other people know what the expectations are, what the goal is, and then letting them do it, letting them take care of things. Also, I have a business partner in both businesses, which definitely helps. But so my time has also been fluid as far as between the different companies and what's expected or demanded of me. Meaning, originally with Caffeine&Kilos, it's actually the headquarters is about 45 minutes away from my house. At first I went up there like I only worked remote, and then I was going up there like once a week or twice a week. Now I go up there 3 days a week. And it was kind of build that schedule like as it demanded more of me, or let me say as me being there in person mattered more or affected different things. I've just adjusted my schedule to be more, to be there more.
Of course.
At this point, with the gym, for example, I don't spend a lot of time down there. I'm involved in about 3 or 4 meetings a week, and I do them all on the same day. And then everyone kind of knows what the goal is, what we're doing, and then they just kind of take it from there. My business partner on that side of things does more of the hands-on stuff, and I just kind of focus more on the strategy behind kind of what we're doing. And so that's cool. So I just kind of split the time. And then the other thing is I get up early for sure. And I try to get up the same time, or I do get up the same time 7 days a week. And then really from 5 until about 7 a.m. I work, right? And so I get more work done during that 2-hour block than really I do the rest of the day. No one's expecting you to call. No one's expecting you to text them back or anything like that. So I get that 2-hour block before the kids are up in the morning. And and during that time, I just kind of do what are the biggest tasks, the biggest rocks that I need to move, or what. I'm a big believer that your job as a business owner is to not be a bottleneck, right? Yes. And so, whatever needs me to do something in order for it to be done, I just get that. I prioritize those things and try to find a way to automate it or delegate it. Or if it is something that I actually have to do myself, then I knock those things out. Those things go to the top of the list, right? That way everyone else, it allows them to do their job and get everything done. So that's kind of how I structure my day. I spend that time in the morning, kind of getting the biggest task done at whatever that is, and then after that, then I'll either, if I'm heading up to the warehouse, or if I'm going to be working from home that day or whatever, then the rest of the day just kind of, whatever's needed of me. If I'm at the warehouse in person, I spend all that time on that particular business, Of course. But when I'm working from home, it's kind of whatever is the most pressing thing or needs to be done by me.
That's awesome. That's great, Valley. As I've interviewed more high-level entrepreneurs, people that have had some pretty good business success, there's been a really great commonality, is that you guys wake up real early. You guys are grinding. You guys are up, 4 or 5 a.m. You guys are getting your workout in. You guys are starting with some sort of maybe meditation. You guys are starting with, checking emails, doing your thing. That way you can kind of set up your day for success. And, most of you guys have family, they have children, and you guys, obviously, as you get older, you want to be able to spend time with your kids and your children, man. Right. So, it's a great commonality in entrepreneurship as people get, much higher level in business. Danny, what's it like? How do you, when you first started Caffeine&Kilos, what were some of the trials and tribulations that you faced with, with coming out with apparel, with designs, with marketing? What were some of the the things that you kind of faced that were like, man, this is something different for me. I'm not sure how to navigate this. It's my first time. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with everything is it's all just figuring it out, right? It's just trying things, and whatever works or whatever doesn't work, you don't do anymore. Try to do more of the stuff that works, and that's kind of how it went all along, right? As we start off and we're getting our apparel through one place, like our printing done at one specific location, and it was going okay, but it wasn't ideal. So I just kind of talked to somebody I knew who had a little streetwear brand, and I just hit him up, said, "Hey man, like, who does your stuff, or how do you do it?" And he said, "Oh, you got to talk to this guy, right?" So you talk to him, and just people, you'd be amazed how many people want to help you out, right? 100%. Like they want to help you and want you to be successful and all that. And so I've had a few people who kind of took us under their wing for different aspects of things. Someone who really helped us a lot early on is FitAid, actually. Awesome. So Aaron and Orion, the founders and owners of FitAid, they're friends of ours. And that was something early on when we were getting started. They said, "Hey man, why don't you just come out to our headquarters? We'll show you how we do things, That's awesome. And so we went spent a day with them, and they actually cleared their schedule. They spent hours with us and just kind of, all right, this is how we do this. This is how we do our email marketing. This is how we handle these things. And in fact, and here's this lady that works for us and handles this aspect of it. And then they told her, they're like, tell them everything they want to know, right? Like answer all their questions. And then, and then here's her email. Like when you get home, if you have more questions, hit her up and ask her. She'll get you squared away, And so that was something like they were huge. And that's kind of really been, I know you asked about specific trials and tribulations. It's not, there's not like one specific thing I could think of that really was this hurdle. Really, when I think about it, I really just think of more of all the different people that helped us out along the way, and that's 100%. Something that's really cool. I have a buddy, Noah Kagan. He has this internet businesses and stuff, is really successful. And kind of same thing. Like he just kind of reached out one day and was like, hey man, I like your stuff.
Totally.
Let me help you out. I was like,
That's
oh,
awesome,
all right. Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Then, you know, over time, he's just kind of, okay, like he's specialized in certain things like email marketing, for example. It's something you know, uniquely good at. And so he's like, all right, well, let's talk about it. What are you guys doing? What could you do better? And just basically like, you know, consulting type stuff, just because he wanted to help. And so that's something that's been really cool. I've had quite a bit of experience with that, as people just kind of, you know, reached out and wanting to help out. So
sure, Danny, that's awesome. And that's the power of relationships, right? In entrepreneurship, right?
Sure.
You know, I think you explained something really powerful for people that are looking for entrepreneurship advice, or people that are looking to become a business owner, is like, you need to be open-minded enough and creative enough to possibly explore different options, but also you need to be able to use your network, right? There's, like you said, there's people out there that want to help you, right? They want to help you succeed. They like what you're doing with your brand, with your business. You know, obviously you just explained it. I mean, those are very powerful things that you can do to alleviate your business from, you know, $1 million business to $2 million, right? Or just helping with email marketing, or helping with the visual stuff, or, you know, there's just so much stuff that can be done in building a business and brand. Which leads me to your next question. With my next question, Danny, you know, go for what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that, then, you know, the other thing too is not being afraid to reach out to people, right? Like if you see that someone's doing something and you like what they're doing and you think that you could maybe help them, you know, reach out to them. And or even if you don't think you can help, but if you just like what they're doing, you know, like reach out. Hey man, by the way, I like what you're doing, you know, like make friends with that person, help them out however you can, you know. And so that's another thing that really helps with that. And like, what's the, if you were to give like one tip on like networking or ways to do it, is, you know, reaching out to people, not being afraid to reach out to people, period. But also, especially when people are coming up, you see someone on the horizon who's like just kind of getting started, and you like what they're doing. Say, oh man, I really like what this guy's all about. I like what he's doing. And I know that I'm a few steps further down the road than he is. Reach out and help him out. Hey, what's going on, man? Like, I like what you're doing. I you know, let me know if you need any help with stuff. Right. And then, you know, as maybe that's it. Maybe they don't have a ton of success, and whatever, you helped them out. That's awesome. Or maybe they end up crushing it and doing well, and maybe end up having a bigger business than yours. And, you know, they're always going to remember that you know, reached out to help them out and then did these different things with them. And I think that's really important. That's really cool. So, you know, just, reaching out, like, I think going with a helping hand, or reaching out to people frequently and often, same thing. Frequently and just trying to help them out, you know. And I think that really kind of, you know, it's good karma, you know, and builds your network relationships.
100%, brother. I can attest to that, especially with me. I'm coming up on a year in business with Black Box Mobile Fitness. And you know, once I launched, I mean, I had so many people like, dude, do this. I need help with this. You need help with this. You need help with this. And it was cool, man. Like, this amount of success that I'm having right now, I'm super grateful. And at the end of the day, I'm just grateful for the relationships that I built in the gym business, in the fitness business, and people that believed in me. So 100%, Danny. You know, Danny, when it comes to your brand, man, you know, you have on Instagram, you have 277,000 followers. You know, you've worked with some great athletes, you know, Noah Olson, you know, Carrie Pierce, Wes Kitts, just some really, really incredible athletes, brother. How do you choose what influencer you want to work with, or the people that you want to work with as brand ambassadors? What is that process like for you guys?
Ours is interesting, or it's a little bit different, I think, than most. Is we look for people that we have personal relationships with, right? So almost everyone who is with Caffeine&Kilos was a friend of ours before they were an athlete, right? Or if not, even if a friend might be a stretch, you at least say someone that we have had some sort of interaction with, or some sort of connection to a relationship with. An example is Wes Kitts. You know, got 8th at the Olympics this year. He, you know, he was lifting for California Strength, right? Well, the weightlifting team. And when I competed in weightlifting, I lifted for California Strength, right? And so, you know, he's kind of my teammate, or if I was still competing, would be. And I go out there every now and then still and see him. So, you know, it's one of those things where he was a friend. And then as he was getting going, it's like, all right, how can we help support him more? Same with Noah Olson, actually, is we met Noah before he'd ever gone to the CrossFit Games, right? Yeah. And so we kind of had this relationship with him when he was, you know, just a regionals competitor and trying to make that first CrossFit Games. And then, you know, so there's like that recurring theme. Carrie Pierce, she had gone to the games, I believe, but I think she had just gone for her first year, and she actually was working with FitAid at like one of their booths at like Wadapalooza in Miami. Just working the booth, handing out cans of FitAid, and that's how I met her. And then we just kind of were talking and friends and whatever. And then just over time, then eventually that turned into the relationship with Caffeine&Kilos. And so that's just kind of how it's been all along. Right now, Maddie Pinnell, our newest athlete, so she's a really good weightlifter.
For sure.
And same thing, she lifts for California Strength, right? And so, I've talked to her a handful of times. So it's somebody you have the relationship with. So I think that's a big thing too, is instead of, we're not always reaching out with coming straight for like some sort of a sponsorship or anything like that. It starts off with just a connection, and friendly conversation and just kind of getting to know each other. And then once you have that relationship, you kind of know what they're all about. Because that's important to us. They represent the brand and so our values, it's important that they represent our values, right?
Of course.
So every one of our athletes is they're like one of two things. They're either just extremely kind people, just like the nicest people, like they're so fun to have a conversation with because they're so friendly. Or the other thing is they're a lot of fun. Like a lot of times they're just real funny kind of joker type of person, right? Like for example, actually like Wes and Maddie are both just hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
That's awesome.
Right? Yeah. And then like Noah and Carrie are the nicest people you'll ever meet. So
100%.
So getting to know the people, the influencers. Jackie Perez, she's been a friend of ours for a really long time, and same thing. Like I love talking to Jackie. Great conversations. That's awesome. Really nice, down to earth, and so that's the things you make that relationship first, and then from there see if there's a way to work together professionally.
Of course, brother, and that's also really important too. Having people on your team, having people as brand ambassadors that also mimic your values, that's important, right? Because the last thing you want to do is just sign someone just because they have a lot of followers on Instagram, or you're doing things for the wrong reasons. The next thing you know, your brand is attached to that person. Right. And it might not go very well for you long term. Short term might go well for you, but long term, at the end of the day, the brand, your values are the most important. And that leads me to my last question, Danny, is what's the vision for Caffeine&Kilos, man? You guys have had some great success, it looks like. And what's next for you guys? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get more ambassadors? Are you trying to, get more coffee, more apparel? What are some things that you're thinking about going for in regards to goals for the next couple of years of Caffeine&Kilos?
One thing that's really fun, one of my favorite things that we do is coffee of the month. So we have this coffee every month. It's a different blend, and the only way to get those blends, the only way to get those blends is through by coffee of the month, right? Signing up for that. So that's something I really like, and I want to continue to grow and get more people in because it's fun, man. It's fun to get like a different blend every month and try different coffees, Of course. So that's something we're really going to continue to kind of push on. Also, it's just spreading the brand, man. Like I said, I really believe in what we do as far as positive messaging and the good 100%. Things, the positive things about working out and so I just want more people to. Look, I think a lot of people don't know what it feels like to feel good. You're right, correct. Like to actually feel good, to not be in pain all the time, to like be able to just like walk up a set of stairs and feel fine and not be winded, and so it's like there's so many people who would benefit from that, and I think that's kind of what we're going for. What we're trying to do is just grow the brand to get more people enjoying the lifestyle and spreading the good news of fitness.
Of course, man. That's incredible, brother. Building a brand that you've built so far, man, and there's so much more time to do. And I'm super mad respect for someone like you that's built up this brand, man, with the team that you've had at Caffeine&Kilos. About the coffee portion, Danny, who do you work with in regards to that actually makes the coffee or, that grows the coffee? Who are the top people that you work with?
So there's a roaster in Sacramento.
Okay.
Who we've been working with since the start. So we started in 2013, and we were just trying to find someone to roast some coffee for us. We were calling around different people, and we had a specific thing we were looking for. Yeah. And, a lot of people maybe didn't want to take it on, or it just sounded like maybe something they weren't interested in. we talked to Roaster Dave, and he was pumped up. He said, hey, we want a coffee that has higher caffeine, but all natural, just by using different blends of coffee. But it has to taste good still, Anyway, he was pumped up. He was like, oh, he said, everyone always calls and just says, hey, I want the best coffee you can make. He's like, well, how many times can you reproduce that,
Yeah.
But so he's like, this is great because it's like something different. It's a little bit of a project. And yeah, dude, let me take some time and kind of take this on for you. And he did. And we've been working with him ever since. And so he procures all the beans and knows, what farms are coming from and that type of stuff, and sets up some blends. And then we go in and taste them and pick them out. And then he handles all the blending and roasting of them. So anyways, that relationship has been great. And that's kind of that's another speaks to those relationships and someone just kind of helping him out. He was pumped up and excited to kind of take us under his wing and teach us everything there was to know about, about coffee.
Of course, man. That's sick. In a market that has so much, coffee, right? There's every morning people are making their coffee, right? Starbucks, Phil's Coffee, you got Temple Coffee, you got all these different local roasteries, man. I wouldn't say it's saturated, right? Because the coffee business does well. But like, man, how do you, I think you've already explained this, but how do you get your coffee out there with so much different brands, so much unique marketing, so many different roasteries, like it has so much convenience plays a role too. Like, how does that, how do you build that, man? That's credible.
Well, it's just, it's obviously having good coffee that people want and enjoy, right? That's important. And then it's just, right. That's it. Like rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is have a good product that people are, proud of and enjoy. Right.
Of course.
That's where it's at.
Totally, brother. That's awesome, man. You have a pretty big event coming up tomorrow, right? You have a warehouse sale?
Yeah, I got the warehouse sale in Elk Grove. Hey. If you're local in Sacramento, come by. Yeah. Well, so we do about once or twice a year, we do these warehouse sales, and it's an opportunity for people to come out and kind of poke around a little bit and buy something directly off the shelves, right? Instead of having it shipped to you. So, it's like you get 10% off anything you buy. And then we have some fun little things going on. There's like we're doing a contest. We're going to give away $100 gift card. It's like a bar hang. So you hang from the bar, make 100 seconds, and you can be entered to win.
There we go.
You got to get it, earn it. And then, so we're doing that. That's a lot of fun. We're actually going to have some like breakfast burritos out there given away just if you can come by. So to come by, get a breakfast burrito, hang from the bar, and you can check out some of the apparel and coffee, buy it straight off the shelves.
Love it, man. That's awesome. I've been to a couple of your events, man, and I'm like, you guys just do amazing work, and I'm so grateful that I was able to get you on my podcast. Danny, before we leave, brother, parenting, being a dad, man, entrepreneur, business owner, brother, like, what are your most important? What's the best part of it about everything? What would you say?
Man, that's tough. Parenting, having kids is a unique experience for sure. All the other stuff is fun, and I like everything else I do. But at the end of the day, like those 2 little girls, like that's really like those are the people that are important. Like, everyone's important, but to me in my life and ongoing, it's like that's someone that you have, the most influence over, and you can really do the most for and help out the most and be there for. And that's also something that you absolutely would regret if you pushed aside or didn't take the time to do that. Right. So, everyone always says family first, and it's almost like a cliche, type of thing, but it's true, man. Like just taking the time and doing whatever to spend the time with your kids and with your spouse and making sure to make time for that family stuff and having that be a priority. I actually structure the rest of my day around that. Like earlier, talking about structure my day and time. It's like, well, I'm home for dinner at the same time every single day. Yeah. And the reason why I get up to work early in the morning is so that when the kids get up at 7, I'm available to kind of help them get ready for school and take them to school. I do that every day. And so, those things are important, and it's important to make the time for those. And the other thing is it's, with the community aspect at the gym, it's just something that's really cool is most of our friends, most people we hang out with we met, through the gym. And it's like that with everybody there. Every time I'm seeing them post pictures on the weekends hanging out, it's always with other people in the community there, you know?
Yeah, powerful.
And so like those connections and relationships and what, you know, as an adult, sometimes it's like making friends is weird, right? Like with other adults, like where do you like meet other people or whatever, you know, other than if at work or whatever. So the gym really provides that for people. It gives some people a place they can go, and there's like-minded people with similar values that like working hard and you know, and all those types of things. So so I'd say, you know, the spending time with the family is a huge priority. And then also just I just love the community, you know, around the gym setting. Yeah.
100%. I mean, it's so powerful. I mean, with the gym like yours, 10,000 square feet, you know, 350 members. I mean, there's so many people there, so many people that are successful, some people that have just interesting lives, and just, you know, you're working out, exercising next to someone that could be a doctor, right? And then you could be, you know, have your own business. I mean, that's just so powerful, right? Just those connections right there, man, are so powerful. You know, Danny, I've noticed a little bit, because for me, I'm a long form person. I'm a blogger. I know that you've like, you know, based on your content, you like tell stories, right?
Yeah, I like telling stories, sure.
For sure. Is that like is that more of a creative thing for you? Is that more of like a perspective? Because there, you know, one of the reasons why I want to have you on my show too, Danny, is because I can tell you're a very introspective person, I think, just like I am. So like, is that correct?
Yeah. So I mean, I used to be a teacher, right? So I taught for 8 years. Okay. And, you know, so I have a lot of experience kind of being in front of people and talking and telling some stories and that type of thing. Yeah, man. And, but then as I stopped teaching actually and started just doing business full time, I realized how much I didn't know. And I thought, well, I better learn some shit. So I started reading a lot, and just through, you know, reading whatever, 30 to 50 books, you know, a year over the last, you know, 7-8 years or whatever, you know, you get different perspectives on things, you know, and that they're not all business books or not all, you know, personal development books. Sometimes even just from a novel or whatever, right? There's just so many different perspectives and ways to see things. And, of course. And so I think that's kind of where that introspection comes from or whatever, just being exposed to so many different people's, you know, opinions and outlooks and that type of thing kind of helps you reflect upon your own experiences of things that are going on. And when you also, I think a lot of people don't like to talk about the mistakes they make, where that's basically all I talk about is all the time I keep screwing up. For sure. So, I think
that's powerful, man. That's powerful because people can resonate, right? People can resonate. Sure.
Yeah. And you know, that's the thing is sometimes you feel like you're like, oh man, I can't believe I did this, you know, but then it's like, well, yeah, but I'm sure lots of people have done that exact same thing or made that exact same mistake, but no one wants to talk about it, right? Course, and so you talking about it or writing about it, you know, actually makes them probably feel better and realize they're not alone, and you know, they're not the only one who you know, snapped at their kid when they didn't really do anything wrong. When you're upset about something else, right, or whatever, you know, whatever's going on. So I think that being vulnerable and just kind of talking about the human experience and the things they're going through, and I think that really does kind of resonate with people.
Boy, brother, and that's awesome, and especially too as a man, because I think as men sometimes there's this stigma that like men can't be vulnerable, right? Or you know, men can't show their emotions in like a more feminine way. And I think the way that you're doing it, and I think the way I do it too, is very powerful because you know we all have stories, right? We all have unique experiences in our lives. And we can all learn from each other. So the fact that you do that, man, that's mad respect. I love it. Keep doing it. That's awesome. You know, you've read so many books, Danny. Yeah, of course, Danny. You know, you read so many books, brother. What are some books out there that have made an impact on your life and that you think would benefit the audience, brother?
Number one, the book Mindset by Carol Dweck.
Awesome.
It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I can't recommend that book enough. In fact, it's one of those, you know, if you don't fully understand and believe in like the principles that are presented in that book, then you won't get nearly as much out of anything else. Like it really is like the foundation. Like this is like you have to understand, you know, this. If you understand that, you'll get twice as much out of every other thing that you do. Right. It's almost like a lot of the other books, almost like a waste of time even reading them unless you really understand and believe kind of the principles and mindset. So that's like the number one A1, I'd say, for everybody to read and to get a hold of.
Awesome, brother.
That really, I think is really important
Heck yeah. I love it. Dude, before we leave, Danny, again, we got episode 17 of the Black Box podcast. I got my friend Danny here, the CEO of Caffeine&Kilos. Mad respect for this person. Danny, before we leave, man, for any entrepreneurs out there, small business owners, people that are going through a hard time right now, man, what are some tips, man? What are some advice? What's some perspective that you can give for people? It's about anything, business, personally, personal development. Show them what you got.
Every problem is a solvable problem.
Sure.
Right. And so sometimes I think that, you get up against something and there's some sort of roadblock or whatever. And you feel like that's gonna stop you from doing whatever you're trying to do, or this gonna, inhibit your progress. And really it's not. Like nothing is really going to happen that's going to force you to stop unless you choose to. Right. Like quitting is always an option, but quitting is always an option, right? Is never required. And I think that's really it. And because there will be problems, there are going to be things that nothing is going to go as smooth as you think it will, or like you plan on it happening, right? 100%. And like, that's things like you should have a plan, fully understanding that your plan is not going to, work out the way that you originally designed it. But that's okay, right? Like you just start, you just got to start. You just start. And then as you come across problems, you just solve them as you come across them, right? Every problem is solvable. And so you just got to start.
Love it, Danny. That's great advice, brother. Again, every problem is solvable, guys. You guys heard from Danny, CEO of Caffeine&Kilos, has a couple other businesses, entrepreneur, dad. I mean, everything, just goals. So, Danny, episode 17, brother, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I appreciate you, man. Where can my community find you, man? Where are you at? Where are you on Instagram? What are your socials?
Yeah, make sure you follow at Caffeine&Kilos, all spelled out on Instagram. And then me personally is just Danny _Lehr, that's Lehr. And then one more thing, if those little emails I send out once a week, I send out an email. Just go to DannyLehr.com/unfiltered, and you can sign up, get those. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, Danny, thank you so much for being on the show, brother. We're 40 minutes in, man. I appreciate it. As entrepreneurs, our time is, our biggest asset, and we want to make sure we put our time into things that we prioritize. So I just want to thank you so much for prioritizing this podcast, man. I'm an up-and-coming entrepreneur, so I appreciate you, man. I'm super grateful, and I'm glad to know you, and I respect the things that you do in your community and things that you've done in your business. So much love, brother. Thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Have a great day.
Heck yeah, man. You too.
Thanks.